Is how we do it. All right, we're live, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Very Funny Podcast. Of course, if you're watching this show after the live stream, you can look at the pinned comment below to find the time code so you don't waste your time. And I'm just making sure that this broadcast goes out to everybody that wants a broadcast. USA, Canada, Australia. Boom. We've sent it out. Everybody knows. It's time for another episode of the Very Funny Podcast. No longer the Quarantined with Nimmer edition. Everybody here on Instagram, do me a favor and leave Instagram. I just posted that comment and I pinned it to the top. Leave Instagram, go to Nimmer Comedy on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch to be able to join the podcast. This is just a notification. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Hi from Australia. This is the first time we do this new timing. Where'd my pick go? Kinzao Tabi is here. Holy cow. Welcome. Yaman, shut up. You guys made it. Dude, what time is it wherever you are? This is fantastic. What's up, fam? How's it going, everybody? Gather around. We got some good music. We got some good tunes. We got the legendary Colin Mochrie today on the show. Colin Mochrie is going to be joining us in about 30 minutes, so don't miss out on that. That's coming up, and I'm going to talk to him about a lot of cool stuff, including his book. And, well, dude, he's a legend. He's from Whose Line Is It Anyways? I have so much I want to ask him. I have no idea if I can fit it in. We got people tuning in 5 in the morning. Jesus. Jason, Steve, for the first time, 12 p.m., in Australia. I'm so glad that I could get you guys a good timing. 4 a.m. in Belgium doing this for Colin. This is incredible. Tabaja from Utah. How's it going? 10 p.m. Sue Jones, you're on the East Coast. My sister in the chat, Maria, how's it going? Somalia. Man, I'm telling you, Colin Mochrie bringing people in from all over the world. The watch party is on. There's no better way to put it. Let me make sure that we have Twitch running good. And if it does, I'm about to hit you guys with a delicious, delicious tune. Some good music coming your way. You know how we do it here on the podcast. We always start off with some music. Twitch needs restarting. Good on you, Nimmer, for checking. Join everybody on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But Twitch, sometimes it needs that extra care. If you guys remember when we used to have like Nintendo when we were growing up, and you had to blow on the Nintendo and then gently caress it, speak to it, tell it that you love it, tell the cartridge that you're here for it every single day, open a bottle of wine, light a few candles, and then it would respond. That's kind of what Twitch is like. Twitch is like modern day Nintendo. Kind of what Twitch is like. Twitch is still not working. Come on, Twitch. You got to work with me, Twitch. Colin is on in 30 minutes. Wissam Kamal joining us from Lebanon, where it is 5 in the morning. Oh my goodness, everybody is here, right here. Why am I watching a Nimmer live stream at 5 a.m.? Ibrahim Hanna, you're watching it because Colin Mochrie is going to be joining us. The one, the only, the legendary Colin Mochrie, my friends. He's going to be with us in about 30 minutes, a bit less now. So whatever you do, do not miss that stream. I'm checking Twitch here one more time. I'm going to give it one more shot because if it still isn't working, it's working. Thank you, Twitch. Let's play some tunes while you all get situated. And welcome to the first episode of the Very Funny Podcast at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's what we do now. 11 a.m. Pacific Standard and 7 p.m. Pacific Standard. That's how we do it. Some delicious tunes for everybody joining us right now. Take a seat, relax. It's a good time. Colin Mochrie joining us in a bit. Yes. Woo! ready to start the show? I'm in a good mood because one of the world's comedy icons, one of my legends, one of my heroes, one of your heroes, one of everybody's heroes is on the show today. None other than the man himself, Colin Mochrie, is going to be joining us right here. This is his book, Not Quite the Classics. I'm going to be talking to him about this. I love this guy so much. I want to welcome everybody to the podcast today. This is the first episode because up until now, this is episode, I think, 25. We've done 25 episodes of the Very Funny Podcast, and we started this when the quarantine began, and it was the Very Funny Podcast. DJ Drake, thanks for the subscription. The Very Funny Podcast, Quarantined with Nimmer Edition. And now reopening is kind of beginning. Fingers crossed. The World Health Organization is saying it looks promising that there might not be a second wave. So fingers are crossed that ends up being the case. You know what I'm saying? I just hope so. So it's no longer the Quarantine with Nimmer edition. It's now the new timing. And the new timing, my friends, is 11 a.m. Pacific Standard and 7 p.m., which is the show that you're watching right now. So thank you so much for our guest who's going to be joining us. Hello, everybody. Nachli with us. Kathy is with us on the stream. George Shamata from Cleveland. So good to see you. Real King Vol, thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate it. Simon Z, Nimmer, from a scale of 1 to blazed. My friend, I am only on water. That's all I drink. That is all I have. I am not blazed. This is me, au natural. I do not do the ganja regularly. Let me silence my phone right here. Sorry about that. Gus from Toronto is here. Man, we got people from all over the world. Love you from the Sunshine State. Selma Zrake, how's it going? Mortanius, of course, from down the street, my good friend, Canada. Augie Tio, thank you for the cheer. Rasha Abu Hassan, you are with us from Nigeria. Great to see you. Sami Rafa, you know, you guys are going to... Colin is spoiling me because we got Noor Banna now from New York. 5 a.m. People tuning in 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Hi from Abu Dhabi. I think it's 6 in the morning there. That's Colin Mochrie for you. That is Colin Mochrie for you right there. And I get it. And I feel it, man. I would be up too. The Exonic, you know I missed you. Cincinnati, we got people all over. Toronto gang, notification gang. Oh man, you guys are making hello from Beirut, Ali Haidar. God bless you all, man. All over the world, wherever you're tuning in from. I promise you for the next couple of hours, or hour and a half rather, we're going to have a really good time. Make sure you guys drink your water, stay hydrated. So, of course, our guest today is Colin Mochrie, who is a legend in improv. Whose Line Is It Anyways is one of the most incredible comedy shows of all time. His history is unbelievable. So before I call him and bring him on, let's talk about the subject of the day. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, the show begins with the subject of the day where I do my monologue. We then bring in our special guest, and then we take your phone calls. So send me your name and city to add me on WhatsApp to that number, and then we'll take your calls later on in the show, and you can talk to me directly there. So yeah. And that's pretty much it. Also, we have a Discord, and it's popping. And if you guys want to join our Discord, make sure that you do that. Mortanius, do me a favor and throw that. I can actually get you guys the Discord link. The invitation for our Discord, I'm going to throw it in the comments section in case anybody wants to join the Discord. This is the best way to do it. For those who might not be familiar with Discord, you know what? Download the program on your computer and give it a shot. I think you're going to be very, very pleased with what it is because Discord is a beautiful community builder. There we go. We got the link coming in right there, and I'm about to copy it and paste it so it goes on all platforms. It's going to come from Restream. You can click on it now. And it's a community builder, man. Everybody who's here on the chat is hanging out on Discord, and it's so much fun. So I hope to see you guys there. And before we start with the subject of the day, also, we got a lot of streams coming, so if you want to get notified, add me on WhatsApp or jump into the Discord. All right, let's get into the show. Before we bring on Colin Mochrie today on the show, I do want to talk about the strength and the importance of improvisation. Of course, our guest today is a master at the art of improvisation. When I mean master, I mean like grandmaster. It doesn't get bigger than this. This guy's built his entire career on improv. Now, I happen to have a lot of experience with improv as well. Because I am a stand-up comic. A lot of people think that stand-up comedians do improv only, like they get up on stage and they just wing it. That's not how it works. A lot of comedians write and prepare their material. I used to go up and improvise. When I started doing stand-up, I did it in the Middle East, and there was no stand-up comedy in the Middle East. I didn't have any other comedians I could have. I just started it from scratch and built it up pretty much on my own for 15 years across the region. I had to rely on improv for 2 reasons, okay? Reason number 1 was I would do a show, and people would come to the show, they'd love me, then they'd come next week, and they want all new material. I would do small shows, build a huge audience, then do a big theater show to make money to pay the bills. And everybody came loving my small shows saying, we're here for the new theater show. So I would have to improvise an entire theater show. And I would do it. I'd pull a show out of my ass because I wanted this. I wanted to be a comic more than anything. And I was like, if these are the cards that I've been dealt, then so be it. I'm going to do it. And I did it with no sleep. My show, Eye of the Tiger, for those who ever saw that show, I actually did that show 2 shows. The second show, I had not slept for 48 hours. I did whatever it took. And I had to improvise. The first reason was because I had no choice. But the second reason is I have something called aphantasia. And some of you might have aphantasia, and you might find this out about yourselves right now. Aphantasia means that you have no inner mind's eye. So if somebody tells me, hey, close your eyes and imagine an ocean. You're sitting at the ocean and the waves are crashing upon you and you feel the breeze gently tickle your face. And as you feel it upon your face, you remember that. I don't see that. I always thought that when people said that stuff, it was kind of like a thing where you just had to imagine it. I didn't know you can actually visualize, like see yourself there. Like close your eyes. Everybody in the chat right now, everybody watching this, close your eyes and imagine a green apple. What do you see? Do you see a green apple or do you not see anything? I don't see anything. I just see black. That's it. I just see black. I don't have a mind's eye. So a lot of people knew that. Yeah, I can see it clearly. Exactly. I was shocked that people were like, yeah, I see a green apple. I'm like, wait, you see the apple? I just see black, nothingness. So my memory is based off of emotion. If I have an emotional connection with somebody, then I remember that. So I would do shows and my memory is so bad, I forget names. I would forget my own jokes. So I would have to improvise to get myself out of that situation. I'm standing on stage. There's 1,000 people in the room looking at me. 5,000. I've forgotten jokes in front of crowds of 12,000 people. Not because I'm nervous. I'm super chill. It's just I forget and I can't help it. So I'd end up improvising it. It would end up coming out funnier. You see, I remember Conan O'Brien once said there's something magical about an improvised joke. It happens. You don't know what it is. And if you try to recreate the moment where the crowd is cracking up and recreate it, it will never be the same. And I'm sure it's happened with you. You're with your friends. Something happens. A plate falls. This happens. That. Somebody says something and it's the funniest thing in the world. And then you retell the story and people just aren't laughing as much as you were laughing at the moment. So improvisation is a beautiful thing because it's you as a human being surrendering to your subconscious, giving your subconscious full reign and full control. That's you in all your glory appearing to the world when you're improvising. And some of you may have been put in situations where you had to improv. I'll tell you where I learned how to improv. Growing up, I used to be a pretty bad student. I would get in trouble all the time, okay? Entirely. So you know what would end up happening? I'd have to lie to get myself out of trouble. If the principal would be telling me to do something or why did you do that? That was where the improv came out from. I had to be convincing. I used to want to entertain. I wanted to belong. I wanted to be cool. So I used to make stories up. That we've all done that. Nothing outlandish. I'd make stories up like, yeah, I played a basketball game and I was the best player. You have to end up improvising the story to make it believable. And when you do stand up, I can tell you a story like, yeah, I read Colin Mochrie's book and it was really good and it really changed me. That's the most boring story that you could tell. But if I were able to entertain you with a story, improvise something based off of your emotional connection. I'm telling you this story. I'm reading the Estes Talal. That's so funny. Hadi Mroui went to my school. That's so true. I'm reading the comments right now. Imagine I'm reading them and I'm saying something. And then I see how you're reacting. And based on your reaction, I change the way I'm telling my story. That's improv. That's maximizing your capability. So I ask you this. improv might be the most important human essential capability, because if you can practice a line and deliver it every single time perfectly, that's a skill. Actors, a skill. But take a look at some of the most iconic movie scenes in human history. Who's seen Goodfellas? Remember the scene when Joe Pesci is sitting down on a table across from Ray Liotta, and Joe Pesci is telling something funny, and they're all laughing, they're laughing. And then Ray Liotta goes, "Oh, you're funny. You're really funny," to Joe Pesci. And then Joe Pesci's like, "Am I a clown to you? What, am I a clown?" Like, he starts getting angry. That entire scene, which is considered one of the best acted scenes in movie history, completely improvised. Not real. Didn't happen. Iconic. Wasn't written. It was improvised, right? That movie with Dustin Hoffman, when he's crossing the street in New York and a car stops and hits the horn, and he's like, I'm walking here. And then he continues. Not scripted. Improvised. Incredible, iconic moment, considered one of the big moments of cinematic history. Robert De Niro, you talking to me? In Taxi Driver, you talking to me? Improvised. Some of the greatest moments are improvised. As a comedian, personally, like right here, your best improv, Rita, that goes to Gaucho. Some of my best jokes ever made on stage were not written. They were improvised. Because I'd be standing there. I've done jokes where I hit the punchline. Like, I've worked on it at home. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. So I get on stage. I drop the punchline. People are like, ha. And I realized that wasn't the anvil I thought it was going to be. And in that moment, I'm like, I need to come up with a goddamn punchline right now, or I'm going to look like an idiot. And it disrupts the flow of the entire show. So at that moment, what I end up doing is I reach deep into myself, because I'm back against the corner, and I end up coming up with something that is the best punchline that I would have never thought of in a million years if I was sitting down at home and writing that joke. My best jokes were improvised. My first show, I had 20 minutes of material. It was an hour and 10 minutes. Some of my iconic bits came from that performance. My first show where I sold tickets, improvised. You know what I'm saying? So the auto-tune bit, Saad Yusha, when you do crowd interaction, think about it. When you go to a comedy show and somebody's like, hey, where are you from? And then you say something and they come up with a joke. Everybody's like laughing. This is brilliant because it's done on the spot. There's a magic there. There's a magic in that improvisability. There's a connection. There's an energy. And that magic, I mean, this man's a magician, because Whose Line Is It Anyways is a show that ran for, I think it's 9 years in America or more even. And it's been absolutely so funny. Maybe the funniest comedy show of all time, just because it's built on that human interaction of improv. People throw out scenes. They get words from the crowd and they put them together to create a scene. And now these actors, whether it's Colin Mochrie or his any of his co-actors, is that what you want to call it? I don't know what is the word? Any of his it's presented by Drew Carey and Aisha Taylor, but like, what do you call the people that improvise? They're not acting. Co-improvisators, whether it's Ryan Stiles or Wayne Brady, or I think Brad Sherwood most recently on the show. These guys would just take whatever you threw at them and create absolute comedy gold. And it just doesn't get better than that. And there is no scripted show. You can't make a scripted show that is that funny, because you have no idea what to expect. And the enthusiasm and the excitement in the people delivering the jokes is genuine. You can't emulate that. You cannot emulate that. And that is what is so special about the art of improv. Anytime you've had to get yourself out of a ticket, police officer stops you, he's trying to give you a ticket, and you're like, officer, it was just because I was speeding and I had to because I'm doing that. You're improvising. You probably suck at it, and it helps when you're a beautiful woman if the cop is a straight male. But in my case, in San Francisco, if you guys want to hear a really funny true story, I was driving, and I've actually have a stand-up bit about this, but I never released it. It was in No Bombing in Beirut. I'm driving in San Francisco, and a person on a bicycle in the middle of the road wouldn't move, and I couldn't go over them in the lane. I couldn't pass them over because it was a straight line dividing the road. So I had to stay behind them. So I honked the horn. Okay. I'm Lebanese. We don't have time for this. I was just like, get the fuck out of the way. Let me drive past. And this guy pulls the brakes on his bicycle, turns around and gives me the finger. I'm in a vehicle. Physics is on my side. Momentum, murder, it's an option in this moment. But this dude just pulls the brakes, gives me the finger, and goes, F you, environment killer, which was the most hilarious thing ever. I was like, I have ambition. I want to go. Let me be, right? Anyways, this guy keeps cycling down the street. Eventually, we get to a place where the line is cut up, and I'm able to cross over him. And as I cross past him, he gives me the finger again and yells something. I'm like, whatever. I drive down the road, probably a mile down. I'm in San Francisco for the first time. I have no idea what's going on. I pull my car to the side of the road. I want to check Google Maps. I open my phone. I'm checking Google Maps. And I look in my rearview mirror. And I see the person on the bicycle just bicycling down, head to the floor, and just slams. He hit my car. He hit my car in his bicycle. And I turn around and he's like wobbling across, and I see him from the rear mirror to the front mirror, and he's looking at me with fury, as much fury as a man on a bicycle can muster, just wobbling along. And then there was a stop sign. He slammed right into the stop sign and fell off his bike. I thought it was the funniest thing I had ever seen in my life. I get out of the car. I'm like, ha ha, ha ha. I'm like, because, I'm Lebanese. And out of nowhere, he just stays on the ground, motionless. I'm like, shit, did I kill this dude? You can't die from running into a stop sign. But apparently, like, the drill is if you get hit by a car, you're supposed to stay motionless in case you broke something. But he didn't get hit by a car. I hit the car. I mean, he hit the car. You get what I'm saying? Like, he hit me. I didn't hit him. Somebody ran out of God knows where with a freaking blanket and covered the guy who carries a blanket with them during the day to cover people, San Francisco, okay? And I'm with my friends in the car, and we're Lebanese, so I'm speaking Arabic, right? The police come, they call the police. People are filming with their phones like I'm a fucking murderer. I'm like, you can get up. You're fine. You know what I'm saying? The bike's fine. The police come, so they separate us so we don't put our stories together. So I tell my friend, who's Lebanese, Rabia, in Arabic, I say, yo, tell him that I parked here. Then the person, he's like, yeah, don't worry. I'm like, don't tell him that, we were parked in the bike lane. I'm like, don't tell him that we parked in the bike lane. Tell him we're doing this and we're getting our stories straight. We're speaking in Arabic. And then the person on the bicycle turned out to be an Arab, so they understood everything we were saying. He's like, Shabib, ana bahki Arabi. I was like, oh shit. So the police officer came to me. I could no longer stick with the story I had, and I had to improvise my way out of the situation so I didn't get in trouble. And that was the one time that I felt sexy, because it turned out the police officer was gay, and he gave me his number. And it wasn't 911 before you guys start making jokes. He puts his number on a card. He's like, hey, it's all good. And I'm sitting there in front. I'm like, officer, I was driving, and then in my blind spot, and then the sign, and then my heart went out to the rider, and I ran out in concern. And he's like, people were saying you were laughing. I was like, no, I was shocked. I laugh when I get nervous. I was afraid the person died. And then the guy's like, you know what? It's okay. All right. And he puts his hand, just on my shoulder, but in a very endearing way. He's like, I'm going to give you my number. If you ever want a tour of the city or anything, here you go. And let me tell you something. I blushed. I'll be honest. Compliment is a compliment. And he was a good looking dude. He was a good looking guy. And I got out of trouble. It was the one time. This is all to tell you that improvisation is important unless you are a good looking person to a person who's attracted to your sex, right? So usually the cliche thing is if you're a hot woman, show some cleavage, the guy lets you off. If he's straight. In this case, Nimmer showed that cleavage, that little chest hair right here. You see that right there? That little chest hair action? And the man was like, that's delicious. I like to nibble me on some of that. That's not at all what he sounded like, by the way. It was San Francisco. This is a true story. I have many bizarre stories. How did I get here from improvisation? Nobody knows. Here's the thing, okay? Drink your water. Stay hydrated. To be and everybody, there's still people on Instagram. People on Instagram, you got to head off Instagram and go to Nimmer Comedy. Check the pinned comment. Go to the Nimmer Comedy on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch for the podcast. I'll see you guys there because we're about to get. This is hilarious. People are sending me requests to be in my Instagram. The Instagram is a notification. Go to the other platforms. We're about to bring in our special guest in a few minutes. So you got to improvise, man. When I play guitar, that's improvisation. Mac GGX, thanks for the follow. When you're playing your guitar, when you're having a good time, all that stuff is improv. And let me tell you something. You want to live life to the fullest? Thanks for the subscription, Mac GGX. You want to live life to the fullest? Here's what you do. Get used to improvisation. Because you can only really enjoy life when you no longer think of yourself. If you have, what are people thinking? How do they feel? Do I look cool? Do I look weird? Am I ugly? Is my hair off? You're not living. You aren't living. You are suffering. But once you just are and you're just there and you're just in the moment and you're just flowing, you're vibing, that's improvisation. That's when you're living. So if you want to live, the art of improv, very, very important. Okay? So had to say hi to Mitsurugi-sama. Mitsurugi, my phone pranks, which made me famous initially. The first phone prank I ever made, I was a Japanese dude calling Burger King to order delivery. Because in Lebanon, back in the early 2000s, you could, everything delivered from the 90s. Pick up the phone, you call McDonald's, they bring the food to you. So I called as a Japanese guy called Mitsurugi to Burger King. That's improvised. That's a phone prank. That's a phone tap. That's one of the funniest things I've ever done. Wasn't scripted. Funnier than anything I've ever scripted. Improv is that good. One of my favorite things was when I told the guy, he goes, "What's your name?" And I go, "You want full name?" And he's like, "Yeah, the full name." I was like, "Okay, my first name." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Mitsurugi." He's like, "Mitsurugi?" I'm like, "No, Mitsurugi." And then I told him how to spell it. And he's like, "What's your last name?" I'm like, "Kenno Michi ni Mayota Sunu Rashita no Keshi." And he's like, wait. It was hilarious. But I was lucky in that moment that I had the perfect improv partner because the person on the phone with me was the nicest guy in the world. Okay. And he stayed on the phone. When he asked me, how are you going to pay? I said, I'm going to pay in yen. He's like, "No, we don't take yen." I'm like, "Okay, how much is it in Lebanese pounds?" And he goes to me, "What is the yen to the dollar?" And I'm like, "It's 9.8. And he calculates it. He's like, 27 yen. So really, life is a dance. If you're good at improv, it means you're comfortable with yourself. If you're good at improvising with people, it means you found somebody that you should keep in your life. And Colin Mochrie did just that with Whose Line Is It Anyways? That cast is iconic because of the way they interact with each other. What else is iconic is when you guys are able to live and love somebody. It's the same energy because you guys are one. You're together. You flow perfectly. You understand one another. That's improvisation. You get kids together. That's improvisation. You have no idea what you're doing. So embrace improv to unlock your life is what I'm saying. All right? That's all I'm saying. Diane Musa, that's so funny. Have I missed Colin? No, Colin is coming up right now, Liam Green Jacket. We're about to give it. What time is it? I should call him right now. That's all I wanted to say about improv. My guest really needs no proper introduction. I mean, everybody knows who we're bringing on. It's Colin Mochrie is going to be on in just a second. So I'm going to bring him in on the Skype. Well, you know what? Enjoy. Everybody on Instagram, head off for calling Colin Mochrie right now on Skype. Let me bring it up right here. And here we go. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I am so good and so happy to have you here with us, as is everyone. We have people from Nigeria, from Abu Dhabi, from San Francisco. I mean, I've never seen this before. They don't show up for me when I do the show, but
I'm very big in Nigeria.
You are. I mean, I can tell you, we got 3 people from Nigeria here on in the chat. So I'm looking at the chat section, and I'm gonna look there. We got people tuning in from London. It's 3 a.m. In Lebanon, it's 5 a.m, and people are losing their shit right now in the comment section. So if you see me looking away from the camera, it's in case somebody wants me to ask you something. I don't mean to be rude at all. I'll be checking the comments. Right. the comment section.
Like a lovely fellow.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. Thank you, sir. First of all, how are you? How's everything going? Where are you? What are you doing during these times?
I'm in Toronto, Canada. It's I'm not doing much. I thought that, I'll have this time. I can be really creative. But it turns out I'm really lazy and don't want to do anything.
Well,
so I've been doing a lot of stuff, like a lot of podcasts. I've been doing some improv shows and cooking. Basically, my wife hasn't cooked since 1990, and our daughter's staying with us also. My daughter's a pescatarian. My wife is gluten-free and has issues. And so every night it's like a little restaurant here as I'm cooking meals from 5 to 7.
And are you either pescatarian or gluten-free?
I eat everything, so I'm fine.
And now, have their diets at all impacted? Like, have you been like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll try being pescatarian, or maybe I'll try being gluten-free, or it hasn't even made an impact?
It has, because I try to find something that we can all have. And since I can go either way, I've been having more fish than I've had for a while, which is good, I think, for me.
Yeah.
And I've been trying new things. So I think it's worked out for all of us.
Okay, that's absolutely perfect. I saw a video. I can't remember. This was a while ago. I think they were doing a tour of your house where you didn't say anything. Your wife was doing the talking. And,
that's weird. All right.
And you were in the kitchen, and she was saying that you do all the cooking. I remember that very vividly. So I was always curious if that was a joke, or so now I know that it's.
We were down in Los Angeles, 1990. My wife had gone down there to do a show she and her writing partner had written. We went down. She was 7 months pregnant.
Oh.
I couldn't work. I didn't have any papers. So I was getting kind of bored. So one day I said, this cooking thing, do you just kind of look at the recipes and do it? And she went, yeah, that's all you do. So I started doing it, loved it, fell in love with it, and been cooking ever since.
What's your favorite food to cook? I didn't plan on asking you this, but I have to know.
I loved turkey dinner. I love the holiday Christmas dinner. I love doing just various stuffings and different ways of doing potatoes and the green beans and everything. So I like that as a whole.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That is, my mom came to Los Angeles to visit me a couple of years ago, and she has a bit of back problems, so it's hard for her to stay on her feet. So I told her, let's make turkey it was Christmas time. I said, I want to make turkey for Christmas. And she said, look, I'll sit down and direct you. And it was the most exhausting. We spent 3 days putting it in a bag, and then with oranges, and then taking the orange and then putting this thing and multiple things like that. I mean, but it was the best. There's something about just getting together around a meal that's had so much poured into it that I think you can't really emulate.
Yeah, I love the cooking. It's sort of wasted when I have to spend time with the family. But the lead up to there is just spectacular.
Oh my goodness! Speaking of your family, are you all quarantined right now together?
We are.
How's that been?
It's been pretty good, considering my wife Deb is very good at nipping things in the bud. Mm-hmm. So at the very beginning, she said, "Look, there's going to be problems. There's going to be those days where we just get on each other's nerves. We just have to be aware of it and say kindly to the other person, you're driving me insane. Do something elsewhere." So it's been pretty good, and we all have various spots. Luckily, my daughter has sort of her own space at the side of the house, so she's separate from us. She joins us for all the meals. We've been watching certain shows together, but so far so good.
That's amazing.
We get along anyway as a unit. But
you definitely give off that impression. From whenever we see you guys together through videos, of course, we're not there. But I mean, it does give you give the impression of a family oriented person, which in this business isn't very common to see usually. It's very refreshing to see. I think it's nice because you give off such a wholesome vibe on Whose Line Is It Anyways and everything that you do. Then to see it matched in your personal life is actually I think the worst thing is to meet people and then realize that what you felt from them turned out to be totally misguided. In your case, that's not the case. Do you think that's because, do you think that your improv is so good because you lead your life the way you want to lead it?
I think so. And I've always, I guess, I mean, for me, my life and my career have always been like two separate things. My wife calls the guy on Whose Line the other.
Really?
Because it's nothing like me. I'm very quiet. She's the outgoing one. She's the funny one. She tells great stories. I tend to be quieter at a party. I tend to sit back. But something happens when I'm on stage that I get out all, I guess, the craziness I have in my life.
Do you think when I'm on stage, what I love the most about it is the fact that it's kind of reassuring to know that people showed up for me to be me? So it's kind of it's kind of liberating. Do you feel that way? Like, is that why it unlocks for you? Like, they're here for the full you, so it makes you happier to deliver in a way.
I think that's definitely part of it. I mean, it is the most relaxed I am in my life, walking onto the stage with Brad or whoever I'm working with nothing, and knowing that it's all going to work out somehow.
Beautiful.
And usually it does.
99.99%. It always works. And this is what so as you know, I showed you when we were on Skype earlier, I'm a huge fan of yours. I have your book, and I loved early on, there was something that I remember reading in the foreword of your book when you mentioned that you really, really hate to write. You hate working.
Yeah.
And the reason that you love improv is because you can just show up and you don't have to like really work or anything. But you wrote this book, which seemed, is it true that it really tortured you to sit down and write? Like your manager, I think Jeff was his name.
Yeah, Jeff. I told him I said, Jeff, no, I don't want to write a book. I don't. It's work. That's why I improvise. I just like to make things up. And based on that information, he got me a book deal. So, asshole. So, yeah. The problem was the first story I wrote was the Sherlock Holmes one.
Okay. Which is unbelievable. Maybe one of my favorites.
It's one of my favorites too. Okay. And it was easy. It was just like, it just flowed. And I thought, I don't know why I was so worried about this. Writing thing is fairly simple. And that was it. That was the last relaxed moment I had. The rest was like, hey, how does Stephen King come up with 2,000 pages a year?
Incredible, by the way. Stephen King writes like religion. It's unbelievable. It's really something. For those who might not know, I highly recommend this book. What's amazing about what you did in this book is you took the first line and the last line of incredible books throughout time, but you basically made up everything in between. Mm-hmm. And the Sherlock Holmes one, he's a stand-up comic. And he wants to try stand-up comedy. And I've remembered this for so long because you say he's telling Watson, I'm going to do stand-up comedy. And Watson's like, what's stand-up comedy? And then you define it perfectly. And I love how later on Watson, who isn't familiar with the concept, calls it erect comedy. There is so many little words that you have in the writings, whether it was Sherlock Holmes or Moby Dick when Call Me Ishmael turned out to be the agent leaving a voice message. There's so many little gems there. I marked one down. First of all, the one thing I learned from your book was the word secreted. Because I thought it was secreted. And then I saw secreted and I'm like, that means to put something to the side? I never knew that. But here you have something that's really, really beautiful from Casey at the Bar, which is from Casey at the Bat. And you said the Penguin shot, he scored the goal, then jumped in celebration. Booze rang out, they said it all, crushed hopes of a Leafs nation. So this is when Casey apparently they were on the cusp of victory, and he lost the game. And then it says, Casey, what a bum, the crowd was all agreeing. Don Cherry ranted from the booth, he must be European, which is maybe one of my favorite lines in this entire book. When you write that, and you're writing, because you said in your foreword that your mind is thinking faster than you're writing.
Yeah.
How did that line, for instance, do you even remember how it came out? Like, was that something you were like, that's a good joke, one day I'll put it in? Or did it literally just, when your mind caught up and it synced up, that like calling him European as an insult came to you?
Yeah, it was one of those things where I thought, oh, because I'm a hockey fan. So I thought, well, a classic baseball poem, of which there are many, I'm sure. But I thought I'll make it hockey. So I just started thinking of all the hockey references I knew. And Don Cherry was someone. He's a color commentator in the hockey world who, at the beginning, when he was making a name of himself, just constantly criticized Europeans.
Oh,
He puts out videos called Rock'em Sock'em, which are basically just fights, hockey fights.
yes,
So that's what he enjoys more than
the actual sport.
thing. And yeah. So it was just I thought, no, I have to put a Don Cherry reference in there. Not so much for the rest of the world, but for the Canadians who read it.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, somebody asked here, Liam Greenjacket said, I'd really like to know if Colin has ever written for anyone else, and if so, how did he find hearing his jokes being told by somebody else? Did that ever happen?
I've never have I? No. I've never written like material for a stand-up or anything, but I did. My wife and I wrote a series that ran in Canada for a little while, and it was. It's great to see something you put to paper. All of a sudden, you were responsible for having employed all these people, all the crew and the executives and the craft people. So there's that excitement. And then, we hired all our friends because they were great actors and funny people. And we wanted it to be a set where everyone could relax and do the best work they can and felt free to add anything. So it was a really collaborative effort. So that was the closest I ever got to writing.
What show was that?
It was called Getting Along Famously.
Okay. All right. So that's actually a very interesting answer, because I think what's unique about you is you've spent so much time creating the magic at the moment. So yeah, I guess seeing somebody else do your thing and involving your friends makes it its own kind of transformative experience.
Yeah.
And
a couple of them were improvisers also. So on set, we were able to kind of, well, this joke isn't quite working. Can you guys make it better by making something up? So it was really, and the crew was amazing too. They really got into it, and everybody was just giving 110%. So of course the show didn't last. That's show.
That's show business. Oh my goodness. How do you feel about music? Do you play any music at all?
No. Here's the thing. This is my tragedy.
Let's hear it.
I have always wanted to be a musical comedy guy. I wanted to be like a Fred Astaire. I wanted to be like a Gene Kelly.
Okay.
And so when we're doing greatest hits or something, and I'm watching Wayne and like Jeff Davis or Brad Sherwood or Chip Eston doing those songs, I am enraged.
Really? Because you want it.
It's like, it's because they have a weapon in their utility belt that I don't have.
Oh my.
I mean, I can make up songs and rhyme, but I don't have that thing where they can make fun of the style perfectly and they sound so good. And that adds a whole other layer to what they're doing. I mean, they're all amazing, but
of course,
it just really kills me that I can't do it.
That's incredible. And you never thought, I mean, I'm sure you're so busy as well. You never thought along the line, maybe I'll dive into that world and try to master a certain
I've
side
actually
of it?
been asked a couple of times to be in a musical, and one I was so upset I couldn't be in it. It was a musical called The Drowsy Chaperone.
Okay.
Was in New York.
Okay.
And it started off as a wedding present for a friend of ours. And one of his friends is an amazing composer. And she and another friend of ours wrote this 20-minute musical about this couple who was getting married, set in the 20s. And everyone became really fascinated by it. So it became one of those things where it grew into a full-length play, ended up on Broadway.
Wow.
Won like 4 or 5 Tonys.
Wow.
And after a while, the guy who was the lead, who also wrote it, called and said, I have to leave. Could you do the show for me? And I was in the middle of a tour, so I couldn't. And I said, Bob, I can't tell you how elated I am that you asked me, and how you have destroyed a little part of me that will never live again, because I will never have that chance. It ended up Bob Saget did it.
Oh my goodness. Is that one of your, I don't know if you have any regrets. Would you consider that one of the regrets of your life?
All that, yeah. I try not to have regrets, but that was I mean, I had a prior commitment. So it wasn't really a regret. It was just like one of those, it's like, oh, why did that have to happen?
Yeah, the timing.
That. What am I supposed to learn from that? Is there a lesson there? Don't work in case something else may come along?
I mean, it's never too late, though, right? Do you think we might ever see you in a musical? Do you think that might ever happen?
You never know. I never say never. I've been doing a show with a hypnotist. And one of the scenes I do with a hypnotized person is we sing a duet to the audience. So I've been feeling more confident in what I can do in that arena. I mean, I'll never be one of those guys, but I could maybe pass.
I know that about this show. What's very funny is the guy that you're doing the show with, his name is Assad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's he from? Do you know? Ethnically.
Sudbury, Ontario.
Sudbury, Ontario. Originally, he's Arab because the name Assad means lion in English. My name Nimr means tiger. So.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Together.
I'm just saying, if you ever need a sidekick and you want to complete the animal kingdom, I'm here for you. You know, if you just...
Okay, I'm writing this down.
Yeah, just make sure that you know. So what was it? So you're going. There's with Brad Sherwood. You're doing your show, which is kind of like a Whose Line Is It Anyways kind of show. Mm-hmm. You're touring that. This is obviously pre-coronavirus, and you're touring your hypnosis show, which is like a mixture of comedy and hypnosis. With Assad, how did that come to mind to mix the two and take it on the road?
It was all Assad. He was taking improv lessons at Second City.
Oh.
And he realized what the instructors were telling him was sort of what he would do to hypnotic subjects. It was like, get out of your head. You know, you're just relax and follow orders, basically. So he contacted my agent. We got together, and I thought, yeah,
oh wow,
this sounds terrifying. So we did it, and it's been great. I mean, the first show we did was the first show we did, and
really. So you guys, you booked a show. You went out. You didn't do any like practice runs or whatever. You just went for it.
We did the Edinburgh Festival, and
Whoa.
It was. So I would say, so Assad, if I ask them to do this, will they do it? And he would go, I don't know. It depends on the subject. They may not. And it was like, oh, that was the most terrified I ever was.
Really?
Doing because I had no expectation as to what was, even when I'm improvising with, you know, like Brad or Ryan or anyone, I know they're going to be lifting up their end. And, you know, if I'm not on top of it, I can kind of lean back and follow them for a while. This was like.
The pressure's on.
It's been great. I just love it.
Do you have any idea? I mean, nobody has any idea when we're going to be touring. What do you think what is your opinion? I'm asking every time we have a comedian on the show. I'd just like to ask, what do you think the future is going to be like?
It's going to be odd. I mean, Brad and I are working on something right now, trying to tour through Zoom, and we've been playing around with, not us, but we have people who are doing the tech part. So
okay.
I hope that is just a stopgap, because
there's nothing like live.
The theaters have to open.
Yeah.
And there is that, not only for the performers getting the laughs right away, but there's that collective thing of the audience. They're sharing a moment. All our shows, that audience is the only audience who will ever see that show.
Yes.
It opened and closed that night.
Yes.
We all shared in that. And you can try to explain to someone who wasn't there,
no.
They will not laugh at anything you say because they weren't there.
That's so romantic. There's something romantic about the fact that every show you will do is immortalized at that moment with those people, and it's so special because you can never give it to somebody else. It's there and it's in that moment. That's what I love about live performance. Even I do stand up. Obviously, I'm not in your field. I do improvise a lot, but nowhere on on the level where there's a lot of, my show is my show at the end of the day. I might mix things around, but even then, I remember the first time I did a big arena show, I didn't film it because I told everybody I just want this to be our experience. You know, I'm going to do this material, never do it again. And that way it kind of immortalized. I got so much backlash for not filming the show. People were like, what are you, an idiot? You couldn't make the show. We want to watch it. I was like, Jesus. So I never did it again, but I can't agree more with you. There is something so romantic. It's such a beautiful thing to give your audience. Like you're buying a ticket, but you're no longer buying a ticket to see a show. You're buying a ticket to create a unique memory, you know?
Yeah, we've just had this little adventure together, and no one else will ever have what we just had. Truly, something you can never say to any romantic partner, but you can only say to an audience of strangers.
So true. Oh my goodness. You've had your life is incredible. What's incredible also about your life is the people in your life. Your daughter is very inspirational, very courageous, and also the relationship you have with her is amazing. I always wanted to ask, and I hope you don't mind me asking this. I always wanted to ask if it's, how is your feeling towards that situation? Are you inspired by her courage or disappointed in the fact that she has to be courageous to live the life she wants to live and the society we have? Or is it both emotions? I'm trying to put myself in your shoes as a father. How does that feel internally for you?
There were so many emotions when Kinley first told us was coming out about the transition. Mm-hmm. As a parent, the immediate thing is fear. Mm-hmm. Fear of her getting hurt, being singled out, being bullied. But then there is this incredible pride that this woman has taken her time to really focus on what she wanted and wanted to become her true self, mm-hmm. which is basically what we all want. We want to be the most comfortable. We want to be the best version of us that we can be.
Of course.
And that is what she wanted. And it's been, I've never used the word journey so much in my life, but it has been this incredible journey. We've met so many incredible people. Just going through this, what I found fascinating was when we were first telling people, mm-hmm. everyone Kinley's age was going, oh, that's so cool, congratulations. Everyone our age was going, how are you guys doing? It's like, well, we're fine. We're absolutely fine. So there is absolutely, I'm very proud of her. She's very inspiring. She's also a bit of an activist. So she's been out there.
Yes, she is.
Talking to people and helping people. She's an incredibly empathic woman. She's like her mother.
That's what I wanted to ask. If she's more like, does she have any comedy leanings or?
She has comedy. She took improv. She works at Second City on staff there, and she took improv classes from friends of ours. And they said, she's really funny, and she's very funny around the house. Very dry sense of humor, but she has music ability.
She's continued your path in the direction that you want.
She plays drums, she plays ukulele, piano, she sings. When she was 17, she went down to New York to go to school there, ended up being the lead singer of a band for a while. They played bars, so she...
What kind of music? What genre?
Oh, it's a genre I don't know. It wasn't like, Sinatra or something, but some really cool music.
Okay.
And, she'd be playing bars, but she wasn't old enough. So she'd do her set, then she'd have to stand out in the street during the breaks because she was a kid.
Wow. And
so that was another time I was very proud of her. She was 17 when she went down to New York and went to school by herself and thrived. She's just amazing.
That's incredible. I'm Lebanese, so we have a saying where I come from. I'm going to try to translate it, but it's basically, I don't know how the hell I could possibly translate it, but may God keep you and your wife above her head is kind of the loose translation forever. That's a beautiful thing. It's there's so much negativity in the world. We experience it every day. I stay away from Twitter mainly because of there's so much toxicity. You're Canadian, which is like by definition the opposite of toxicity.
Yeah.
Inside, when you are working here in America, whether it's on Whose Line or anything else, how do you deal with that shift in the paradigm shift? I just feel there's a bit more negativity in the industry here than I would imagine maybe in Canada, or is that a misconception on my point?
I don't know. It's probably the same everywhere. I find when we're doing our live shows, we say at the top of the show, we're not taking any political suggestions. This is just 2 hours where we forget all of that. It's just goofy fun. Because we found if you took a political thing, you immediately had the audience split in half.
True. Very
and
true.
It was odd because Americans have a long, great history of making fun of their presidents and whoever's in power. It's been a thing. And then we found it started to change during the Bush years. And so it's bizarre. And, I try to be, I'm not a positive person. My wife is like super positive and Kim is super positive. I call myself realistic. But on Twitter, I try to be, but I put a lot of Trump stuff out there, mostly just so I can get attacked and I can block people who follow me. Because
you want to call the herd
to follow me because we don't have the same. I certainly don't mind people having different opinions.
Of course.
But this is like insane. It's like
yes.
It's like we're worshipers of Satan.
Yeah.
And it's like I have nothing in common. Please don't follow me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I I definitely feel you. I'm not going to try to push you in a political way. I don't want to, but I definitely feel you on that. It's very polarizing now. I did a show in Denver, and I stay away from politics generally in my show as well. And if I do include politics, it's usually bait and switch. So if I'm using the word Trump, people are expecting me to say something, turns out to be a totally different joke. And I remember I was doing that type of joke where I was using Trump, and it was going to be it had nothing to do. I couldn't even get through the joke. It enraged people in the audience, and they got up and I told them, like, just give it 30 more seconds. This is not where you think
like this.
You're gonna love it. It's fantastic. But I couldn't get it. It's become oddly divisive. Comedy has become. Do you think it's because comedy now is like the truth so much in a world absent of so much truth? People are now shifting towards comedians and expecting us to now take positions of truth, and they don't accept if it conflicts with them, or because it seems that we've been given more responsibility than 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. I think it started with like the Daily Show, where that became sort of the go-to for news, a comedy show. And it is that because that's what a comedian's job is.
Yeah.
And especially the political ones like Seth Meyers or Colbert.
Yeah.
And my thing always is, as I'm watching their stuff, I go, wow, that's really funny. And it's true. And I know it's just enraging. And I try to think honestly, okay, if this was, I'm not American, so
yeah,
I don't care. But
you don't have a horse in the race.
But if I was in America, I'd be a Democrat. I would be a Democrat.
Okay.
But I was thinking, okay, during the Clinton years, on Whose Line, we certainly had our Clinton jokes that we would jump to, and we were, I thought, being honest about his shortcomings as a, so to speak, as a president and as a man. And we seemed like, I don't remember if someone said something bad about Clinton in certain, whatever it wasn't like, oh, I'll kill you. You're a traitor to the country.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, no, yeah. Or, yeah, well, maybe I don't quite agree with that point. But now it's, if you say something, you're against the country and against God.
Crazy. No, it is. I'm grappling with it because I grew up in San Diego. When I was 10 years old, my family moved back to Lebanon, and I lived there from 1992 to 2015. And America today is what's interesting is America exported this culture of like, you can make fun of the presidents, you can make jokes about anything, and that's how it should be. And you start to see a conversion happening where in Lebanon right now, we're like on the daily making fun of everyone. That's fine. And America has slowly transformed to Beirut in the 90s.
Yeah.
So bizarre. When I left in 2014 and I came back here, I kind of expanded to do comedy here and try to bring a different image for my people to the world. When I first came out here, I remember my first thought was like, oh, this is going to be so relaxing. Because here in America, you know, you can say anything, you can do anything. I find myself on edge in America. And when I go back to do shows in Lebanon, I'm like, oh, good to be back home where you can just relax.
It's insane. How did that happen?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's a weird thing. I think because we had a lot of negativity and violence, we now joke about everything. And I think because Americans had just too much positivity, maybe they just wanted a change of pace. I don't know. But it's gotten insane. It has gotten truly, truly insane. I don't know. But I still think that comedy has a responsibility to always... it's not only a responsibility. You can't make somebody laugh if you don't say the truth. Mm-hmm. It's funny because what you just said triggered an insight into something that they never really thought of from that angle. And it's so true that it stops them and they crack up. But, you know, I don't know. I don't have an answer, and it seems neither do you. I was kind of hoping maybe you had some weird insight, but it's impossible. I think these are just the most...
People have... Well, it's like, here's what has to happen. Everyone in America has to take an improv class and stick with it for 2 months. Because the rules of improv are you have to listen to what the other person is saying, and you have to accept what they're saying and build on that. And, you know, when you're a first-time improviser, the hardest thing to do is to let go of your ego and let your idea go. But if someone comes in and has their idea out first, it's like, oh, my idea's gone. This is what we're going to work. We're going to make the best scene ever. We're going to work together, even though my idea was much better. I'm following this. I'm going to support, and lo and behold, you have a great scene.
But I think if it's a great idea, but if Americans all had to take improv for 2 months, I think they'd end up ruining improv. I don't think improv would end up fixing.
Wouldn't that be funny? Improv band, underground improv clubs across the country.
There'd be a rebellion. You'd be like, the first rule of improv, you have to abandon your ego and listen to the other person. They're like, no, we're gonna do it this way, and it's gonna ruin it. So no, you know, I'm American, and I'm telling you, we shouldn't be we shouldn't be close to things that are that good in life for long. We're going to ruin it. Look what we did to hamburgers and chickens and stuff. It's too bad. It's not going to happen.
I'm sure every country has their darkness.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I was joking with a bunch of comics the other day that America needs a good, and I meant this, like, if there was a way that nobody would die, it needs a good war just to put everything back in perspective, you know, because you lose perspective when you don't know what matters in life. And it's weird.
I'll tell you what America needs. It needs to get laid. Right away.
By who? Who's going to sleep with America?
Well, it just needs that one country to do it, and then everyone will relax. We'll just okay, it's done. Let's get on with it.
Okay, who's the brave country that's going to step up and sleep with America so we can all America does feel like it needs to get laid. That's actually the best description. Jesus, that's great. Who would have thought you would come up with a brilliant line like that, Colin?
No one.
Colin, I want to thank you so much for your time. If people want to, follow what you're doing. Is there anything now set in stone? Is that a Zoom show that you guys are doing? Is that happening, or we're not sure yet? Or
it will be happening, but no, we don't have dates. Okay. Most of our tour has been postponed. I think all of the shows have been rescheduled to 2021 at this point. Mm-hmm. So yeah, keep an eye out. ColinandBradshow.com or Improv.com.
I'll be following your accounts, and I'll share with our viewers everything, because everybody's asking me in the comment section. Before you go, we have 3 rapid fire questions that we ask all of our guests, if I may.
All right.
First question is, and I can't wait to ask you, what's your favorite book?
Oh God, my favorite book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Really? Okay. Yeah. All right. If you had to choose, what is your favorite song?
One for my baby, Frank Sinatra.
That is beautiful.
That hurtin' song.
That's a beautiful choice. Okay. And finally, many, many, many years from now, when all is said and done, what would you ultimately like your legacy to be?
Oh. I hope I just get known as the guy who got America laid.
You don't want to be the one who slept with America, though.
No.
Okay.
I'm the pimp.
You're the pimp. You're the pimp. You're America's pimp. That's great. I want to be known as America's. I'm going to refer to you as America's pimp from now on.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to help propagate your dream, Colin. I'm here for you. I'm going to help make it happen. Thank you so much for joining us today. This was an absolute privilege. Thank you so much. Such a privilege, such a treat. Take care of yourself. All my love, and from everybody here at the podcast, to you and your family, and I'll see you on the other side of all of this.
Absolutely. Stay safe.
Thank you, sir. You too. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Colin Mochrie, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all right. I'm doing good. I'm keeping it together. I don't think I fangirled too much. There were points in the interview where I was like, I'm getting nervous. I've met celebrities and it's fine. I'm good with that. I don't usually get any kind of, there isn't a lot of emotion, but there's a difference between meeting somebody who inspired you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, and he's such a nice person and he's so funny and genuine, and it's so refreshing and beautiful to see that the person you've looked up to for so long isn't a dick, matches the what you expected. This is how I always imagined him, and he was that way. So, guys, I'm so glad you liked No Cadillac, No Perms. You can see, because Colin is the pimp. That was epic. He was amazing. He really was. Such a beautiful guest. It's different when they make Liam Green Jacket. It's different if they made you laugh when you were 14, like with the Bands for Your Teens, man. You know what I'm saying? Whose Line Is It Anyways is just like a monster show. Peter, it was, man. I mean, he means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? And his contribution to comedy in general and is just so huge. It's, I hope I can have such an impact on the art form. Unbelievable. Assad is from India, by the way. Okay, I didn't know that, Exonic. That makes sense. I just read the name Assad. I'm like, yo, I was this close to being touring with Colin. I was a cousin away. Because my name in Arabic means tiger. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is the point in the show where we take phone calls. I go to askreddit.com, I find a question, I pose it to you, the listener, and you call in. Full disclosure, we use a program called WhatsApp to do it, so you can only call in on WhatsApp. We don't take normal calls. And the problem is we recently upgraded the version of WhatsApp, right? And it upgraded to a version where we can't block the beep beep sound when people are calling and call waiting. So do me a favor to help me out. Give me a call when I open up the phone lines, and it's going to come here. And once a phone call gets in, don't call until I close with them. Call again, just so we don't hear that beeping until we get that fixed. I use a version of WhatsApp called WhatsApp Pro, which is a hacked version of the show, of the app. So, I've sent the people who do that hacked version a request. I'm sending them some money, and they should be fixing it in time for the show next week. So until that happens, bear with me here on the show. I'm going to go to askreddit.com to get you guys a question, okay? And I want to hear from you guys. And of course, if you haven't called this show before, make sure you text me your name and the city where you live so I can add you to the contacts. And of course, we can stay in touch. And that's the most important thing. You can talk to me directly. This phone is with me, and I'm the only one who answers on it. You'll get voice notes from me, and I'm here for you. If you guys are going through a rough time with all this shit going on, that's what this number is for. If you just want to have a good laugh, that's what this number is for. And if you just want to say, hey, I'm here. All right? Now, I'm looking at the questions here today, okay? And here's the question we're going to ask, okay? I'm looking through them. If products had consciousness, this is your chance to improv. If products had consciousness, what product would be the most mentally scarred from its use? Basically, if products like this phone, this cup were actual living things, what product do you think would be the most scarred mentally and emotionally from the way we use the product? I'm sure a vibrator is the first thing that came to my mind. If vibrators were sentient, they would be just, they would just the horror. Just the horror. So give me a call. We're opening up the phone lines right now. We're taking the calls. Call me on that number on WhatsApp, +1 424 542 9902. We got a caller from Belgium. Ghassan, how's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing so well. How'd you like that? You stayed up. What time is it there right now? What time in the morning?
It's 5 a.m.
5 a.m. I hope that interview was worth you staying up for. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely, man. The guy is a legend.
He is.
Like you said, Colin Mochrie, when you were announcing the guest, and I was like holy shit, man. It's gonna be. Yeah, but it was amazing. The guy is just
so awesome, my man. I'm so glad.
Nice.
He's
typically Canadian.
Typically unbelievably so nice. Canadian. It doesn't affect them. It's unbelievable. Like, it doesn't matter if you're an icon, you're a legend, you're still Canadian. I swear to God, I don't know what it is with these people. And I'm telling you, I've been to Canada many times. I've done shows there. There's one of my favorite places in Canada is a place called Winnipeg. Just the nicest fucking people in the goddamn world. I like, you go to the gym, they're giving you free stuff. Like, oh, welcome. It's beautiful. They're beautiful, beautiful people. So I'm definitely on board with that.
It's probably the maple syrup. That's my.
Probably it is. The diabetes.
I'm thinking, like, what are they doing differently? They eat normal food. All
Diabetes.
Of that stuff.
It's
like
the diabetes from the maple syrup. They have diabetes type 3. Diabetes type 3
exactly.
Gives them.
It makes them so sweet.
It makes them so sweet. That's true. All right. Now, Ghassan, question of the day. If products were sentient, if they were self-aware, if they were actually alive, what product do you think would be the most scarred from the way we use it?
I know you first said the vibrator, which is okay, but then
a dildo,
it
vibrator.
Knows what it's made, yeah, but then it knows what it's made to do. So I don't think I wouldn't necessarily go there. I would say your phone.
My phone? Why?
I mean, not your phone, but like the smartphones in general. Because
that's actually a very deep answer.
They're made to be like such helpful tools.
And we're using them to watch porn and shit.
And then we're using them to watch like weird, I don't know, like midget. I mean, I don't want to be offensive here, but like weird stuff on it. So
what
then,
the fuck are you watching on your phone?
No, man, it's all on incognito mode, so you're never gonna find out.
Well, I mean, you just told us, so we don't need. You took the in out of the incognito. You brought incognito full on. That's a very smart answer. That's honestly that kind of pissed me off that I didn't think about that. And in the future, I'm gonna say that and not give you credit. I just thought I'd put that.
Yeah. No worries.
Dude, that was a great answer. Thanks for calling, man. You take care and have a good night.
Yeah, you have the night ahead. I have to start work in a few hours.
My God, okay. Man. Yeah, take it off you, brother. Thanks so much for calling.
All right, bro.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
All right, people. Thanks so much for, by the way, I'm seeing people are calling and then closing the phone. It's unbelievable that this next caller gets through every single time. She is the hero of the show. Carla Nakad. First of all, why are you awake? It's 6:15, woman. You should be asleep and in bed and relaxed.
Actually, I am in bed, but I'm with you guys right now. I just woke up again.
Cheers to you. Cheers to you, Carla. How you doing?
I'm half asleep.
That's good. Then I'm interested in hearing your answer as a half asleep person. What object, if objects were real, what object would be the most scarred by the way that we use it?
Which object would be most scarred? So I'm going to tell you a story that's going to make you laugh.
Let's hear it.
Me and my sister used to play a lot of PlayStation 3 back in the days.
Okay.
So whenever I used to lose against her, I used to smash the controller on the floor.
You were a rage quitter.
Yeah, exactly. So my sister used to change more than 6 controllers each month.
Jesus.
So I'm gonna go with my PlayStation.
Yeah,
controller.
your PlayStation controller would be horrified. Your PlayStation controller and all of its cousins and family that were brutally murdered by your short temper. That's a great answer. Carla, so great to always have you on the show.
I'm a sore loser.
It's okay.
I'm a very sore loser.
You're a sore loser because you're an incredible winner. That's what you should say.
Oh, thank you.
Bye,
dear. It was nice talking to you.
The pleasure was mine. You have a great day.
Same to you.
Bye-bye. Rage Against the Machine, Habs Executor. What a great tag right there. Rage. You guys are comedians in here. Coco 32003. She stole my answer. Give me a call, guys. Let me know if objects could speak. Which one would have the most harrowing tale to tell? This guy has the coolest name in the world. His name is, are you guys ready for this? His name is Jade Rock. I mean, get the fuck out of here. That's a cool name. God damn it. Jade Rock, how's it going?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to have you on the show.
Hold on, cutting out. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear now.
Okay, why are you breathing like you're running or something?
No, because I don't know.
It sounds like you're jerking off furiously on this phone call.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
You're like, hey Jade Rock, how you doing? You're like, I'm doing good. It's like, oh my goodness.
Look, man, you're sexy, I know, but you're not that sexy. I'm sorry.
My man, if objects could speak, if objects were sentient, which one would be most scarred by the way we use it? You see these sound effects, Jade Rock, that you just do right now. You can't tell me right now when I'm like, I asked you a question, you're like, like it's your, I love you, man. I hope you always call. Please tell us your answer to the question.
Next, I would say a mirror.
A what?
A mirror.
A mirror. That's actually very funny. Yo, you guys are on fire today.
Imagine just like a mirror just that fucking pimple on your ass was I'm sorry, dude. No.
I thought you were gonna say because you're looking at it and you were making a self-deprecating joke that you're ugly, and I thought that was very funny, but this is also disturbing. So I just wanted to say, in both cases, you impressed me both as a comedian and as a human being. Thank you for your call, brother.
I mean, it would be just fucking horrified.
I can imagine, dude. Listen, thank you so much for your call. Keep breathing in a rapey way, and may you do me a favor and never sneak up behind anyone and tell them a secret, because you will terrify the living shit out of them. Thanks so much for calling, brother.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Every time I say thanks for calling, I realize that I'm saying Colin, who was our guest, and thanks for calling. That's actually very true. This is a caller we've never had on the show before. Hello, who am I talking to? Hello? Hello? Hello, caller with the fireworks icon. I'm not going to show your number, but we... Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hi, who's this?
Hey, this is Hisham Hashim.
Hisham Hashim, the tongue twister of names. Hisham Hashim. Try saying that 3 times quickly.
Tongue twister.
Hisham Hashim. You can't say it 3 times quickly. That's hilarious. Hisham, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there in San Antonio? I hear Texas not doing the social distancing. Everybody's walking out without masks and having a good time. Is that true?
Everybody's a cowboy down here.
Stay safe, my brother.
It is very crazy. It is very crazy. I'm a nurse, and I've dealt with the COVID patients. I know how bad it is, but yeah, people are freaky.
Dude, first of all, thanks for everything you're doing. I mean that from my heart. I really appreciate what you must be going through right now. And I can only imagine how infuriating it is that a simple just wear a mask, just put on a, it's the most, I was saying this, we as a human race are such a failure that if I tell you, just put a mask on your face. It's the simplest request in the world. And it's literally can affect life and death. And people are like, no. And it's like, how you're so unprepared for a real danger in life.
It's my freedom. They tell you here. It's my freedom. It's like telling people put a seatbelt on because it will save your life.
The fucking obnoxiousness of somebody saying that is a signal of the word I'm looking for. It's a fucking sign that you're trying to take away my freedom. The obnoxiousness of that statement to people like myself who've experienced situations where your freedom is truly stripped away from you, it fucking pisses me off to no extent.
Absolutely.
Like, unbelievable, man. I just want you to...
I don't mean to politicize this.
No, that's not politics. It's not politics. It's whether you're a fucking idiot or you're not.
When you have the president of the country coming out and telling you exactly the opposite of what scientists are telling you to do, that's the problem.
Dude, let me tell you something. I don't like to get political per se, because I don't want people to perceive me as a political comic, and I'm not. I will say the one thing that pissed me off, there was one line in the sand. Because I know President Trump likes to troll and fuck around with people. I understand that. And I understand his manipulation of the media is fucking brilliant. He knows exactly how to do it. I think he's absolutely a genius. I 100% think Biden doesn't have a chance winning against him. I am convinced we have 4 more years of Trump. What really was crazy for me was when he went and visited the Ford factory and he didn't wear a mask, and there was backlash. And then they released a picture with him wearing a mask, and he said, yo, I wore a mask. I just didn't want the press to have the pleasure. At that moment, I was like, fuck you. In that specific moment, because, dude, this is supposed to be bigger than your petty issues. But I mean, I shouldn't expect more. It's just, it disappoints me that in a country like Lebanon, where I come from, where so many people look down upon it, the government is totally absent as a controlling rule. The people step in. They take care of business. You'd expect the American people to do the same.
That's what we do as Lebanese people.
That's what we do as Lebanese people. We protect the institutions. But in America, in the absence of institution, everybody's like, fuck it. And that is insane, man. So thank you.
We go buy toilet paper. That's what we do when the institutions go away.
By the way, the toilet paper thing was fucking hilarious. I mean, I ordered toilet paper and I got scammed. I put $60 to get 6 rolls of toilet paper, and they never showed up. They never fucking showed up. I didn't get my money back to wipe my ass. You know what I'm saying? People are like, get a bidet. I don't like a soggy asshole. I'm just saying that's just me. Getting back on track, if objects could talk, what would you think is the one that would have the most disturbed existence?
The fridge.
Oh. Elaborate.
The fridge.
Elaborate. Brilliant answer.
The fridge.
Elaborate.
Imagine the new fridges that have the screen, like the Samsung fridges that have the screen that you look at it and it recognizes you.
Yeah.
And now it should be telling you, hey, you're too fat fuck. Just keep it closed.
I think the fridge would be even more shocked, because they'd be like, he has high blood pressure, yet he still opens me and eats salty foods. He'd just be like, people are suicidal. I don't know. Something is wrong with these people, and they don't listen to my cries. I cry to them. They open the fridge and I start beeping, stay away, yet they come back again.
Exactly. Not again.
Not again.
Imagine a fridge.
You were just here. That's what a fridge would say. You were just here 10 minutes ago. You just ate everything and there's nothing here. Stop opening. Ketchup and pickles. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's what the fridge would be saying.
I know. Good one.
Dude, thanks so much for calling, man. That was a great call, and God bless you, dude. Keep fighting the good fight, and know that there's for every fucking douchebag, there is an army of people who love you, man. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man. You take care. Bye-bye.
Appreciate you.
Give me a call, people. Let me know. Right there. We're getting a call from Lebanon, from Hassan Bushur, who, by the way, would like everybody to know he owns a very nice car. I just want to show Hassan your display pic to the world. That's a nice car, dude. That's a very nice car. How's it going, Hassan?
Yeah. First of all, that's not my car, and that's a rental.
Hassan, your honesty is fantastic. I love that. I absolutely.
Oh my god.
That is too good. That is.
How are you, man?
I am so good, dude. Thank you for putting the smile on my face, my man. Tell me, if objects could talk, which one do you think would be like objects became self-aware? Which one do you think would be suffering the most due to its use?
Oh shit. I think blow dolls.
Yeah, yo, blow up dolls. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine the depression? Did you see that picture of, and it made me sad, of the guy who had a blow up doll and he has an Instagram account. He treats it like a real, like it's his actual wife. And then he had pictures of her giving birth and they had another doll.
Oh my God.
And people were like, who the fuck is taking the pictures of this? And it turned out his mother, dude. His mother was taking the pictures.
Oh my God.
And I started to just, investigate into this story, and it's even sadder. He's a veteran, so he served in the military. He came back with some severe PTSD.
PTSD.
So he had a very loose grip on reality. The mother was taking the pictures because it was like somewhat holding her son together. This fantasy he was living out. He ended up leaving that life behind, met a woman, fell in love, a real woman, and then she got hit by a car and died.
Oh my God, dude.
And I honestly don't know what happened afterwards, but I think, like, I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, if I could talk to God, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, for real, dude? Like, just give the dude a break, for fuck's, like, God.
I'm dead.
Jesus, like, just relax. What did he do to you? God damn. Jesus. I mean, I know we're supposed to be tested, but man, I mean, I read this whole thing and it's true. I'm not making this up. This isn't like a rumor. It was. There, this sounds back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, all right. Sorry about that. So, thanks for your call, man. That was a great answer. I turned it super dark, but that was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. Got a question though.
Oh, wait a second. People are saying no sound. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me. I don't know if the people in the comments can hear me now. Bro, I dropped the phone and pulled everything out of its way. I'm trying to. I hear you. Sound gone. Okay, I think people. Yeah, they can hear me. We're back. Okay. I dropped. Here's what happened. I dropped the phone. It's connected by wire into my audio interface. I yanked it like an idiot and pulled the audio interface cable and then put it back. I'm so stupid. Oh my goodness. Dude, thanks a lot. Anjad, Yaman Sharaf the bug. I can't say what you said, but seriously, that's exactly what happened. Oh my goodness. Dude, Hassan, thanks so much for calling, my man. It was great having you on the show.
Got a question though.
Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, are you gonna go back to streaming games though?
Yes, I am. We have a whole new streaming schedule. So I sent out of it. You know what, Hassan? I'm going to check something right now because I have you on this phone. And I have a suspicion that, Hassan, that you didn't watch the video that I sent out that was 4 minutes and 52 seconds. Did you see it?
No, I didn't get it.
You didn't get it. You didn't get it, right? What are those two blue check marks on the video, Hassan? There are two blue check marks on the video, Hassan.
Wallah, I don't have it.
Hassan,
I'm gonna send you.
I'm looking at it right now. There are two blue check marks. It's right here. I'm cornering him. This video. Look at that. Look at that. I just sent it right there.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, girlfriend, bro. Yeah, hey, look in your WhatsApp. The evidence is there. You lied to me, but okay. Here's the thing. Watch that video.
Wallah ma andi. Wallah ma haya conversation.
Bro, okay. You know what? Watch the video. Watch the video. Yeah. And then you'll know because I talk about the video gaming streams and all the new streams coming up. And I ask, do you want to be notified? Let me know so I notify you. And you didn't let me know, but now you see the video. You'll let me know, and I'll get you on the notifications. All right?
Yeah. All right.
Everybody's laughing at you, Bitcoin girlfriend. Yeah, his girlfriend was like, Nimmer's way too fine. I'm not allowing this shit. I could lose my mans to Nimmer. That's what his girlfriend was like. I'm going to lose my mans to Nimmer's sexy hairy chest. Whoa. Beautiful, man. May you and your girlfriend live long and prosper, my brother. I love you long time. Thanks for calling, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Let's take one final caller. It's the last caller of the day. Calling us from New York City, my friends. It is Manal. Manal, how you doing? Hello, I think Manal is watching the stream. Hi, Manal, can you hear us?
Holy shit. Oh my God.
Holy shit, oh my God, indeed. How are you?
Oh my God, hi.
How are you?
Such a huge fan.
I'm a huge fan of yours, Manal. I've been waiting for you to call this show for so long. You never call.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
I
always.
never do actually. This is wild. I'm like really high.
It's unbelievable, and we have a baby together, and you don't answer my phone. I'm just kidding. Manal, where are you in New York? Which part?
I'm in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Hey, all right,
Yeah.
okay. How is Brooklyn treating you these days?
Brooklyn is pretty good. I think everyone is pretty sick and tired at this point. We just want the country to open up, I guess.
Yeah, we all do.
It's just kind of cabin fever, and we just want to go back to whatever normalcy I guess we used to have before. But
Did you see those pictures?
Crazy.
Did you see those videos of the pool parties?
Yes, and I gotta say, I have to admit, I was kind of jealous.
How can you be? It's the most disgusting thing. I don't want to. I've never in my life. Nope. Forget quarantine. I never saw those pool parties, and I was like, "Yo, I can't wait to be shoved into a collective body of water with an overpopulated amount of obese people in my life, like half naked obese." It's disgusting.
It was pretty insane. Like here, it's pretty crazy too. But they really shut down the beaches here in New York City. It was Memorial Day.
Yeah.
People just wanted to go out. It was kind of sad, and it was also coinciding with Eid. So it was just like
no
one got to visit anyone else. It's pretty sad all over.
However,
you really can't get together.
However, it's kind of a blessing because there are family members you really don't want to see, and this is the perfect excuse. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. This is the perfect This is the time where you could be like, oh, I really wanted to see you, but the quarantine and the disease, and I don't want to kill you.
Let me tell you, I used that excuse to the max. I'm not kidding. Like, this was the perfect excuse to just stay home and be like, you know what? And I'm speaking from a person who actually was infected with COVID, so I did have it for about 3 weeks.
Yo, wait, you actually got the Rona?
Yeah,
whoa.
I did, because like I live with family and they're on the front lines. They're doctors, they're working, so it was only like a matter of time.
Oh, wow.
But it was honestly like a really bad cold. Yeah, a bad cold. But
how long?
I really truly think the media is kind of hyping it up.
Well, I mean,
I'm a scientist. I understand science.
Yeah, wait a sec. I know you understand science and biology.
They are hyping it up a lot.
They are hyping it up, but people die. Just because you didn't die doesn't mean people aren't dying.
True, 100%. But they really do need to focus on the fact that it's people that are more, prone. People who are more, on the downside of like having really bad immune systems.
True.
Older people, obviously, but I really wish they would focus on the fact that the majority are getting better.
True.
They just seem to really focus on really the bad
but
stuff,
then,
the depressing stuff.
But then again, you do have some people who are super, super healthy males, because it affects.
Very true.
It affects males.
Very true.
And
100%.
and you're a woman, and you're saying that they should reopen. Because everybody's.
So we can get rid of all you guys.
So what I'm starting to understand here, Manal, is that you are using your scientific background to kill men. Are you a man hater? Manal,
I will neither confirm nor deny. I plead the fifth on this.
Manal, here's the thing. I love what you're saying, and I would agree with you if we had a socially responsible people. Let me put it to you this way. Let me put it to you this way. Is there a way that we could have a very simple lifestyle during this virus? I believe so. The problem is you're telling people wear a mask, which is the easiest request. It's like so simple.
And they're not doing it.
So if you don't tell people to stay home, it would become a disaster because people are fucking.
I agree.
And
you can also, from the scientific point of view, you also have to argue.
I'm asking you scientifically. This is why I want to ask you. Because you're saying you have a scientific background and I am a clown. So I'm asking you.
I do. I work with microbes. Like, I'm a microbiologist.
Amazing.
I understand bacteria.
Amazing. I want to ask you this, and I would love to get your insight. Can it not, and I'm serious. This is a serious question.
Yeah.
Can it not be argued that had it not been for the lockdown, hoarding the toilet paper, that shit is stupid. But I mean, for the
oh my god,
for
don't
the lock,
even remind me.
Had it not been for the lockdown, wouldn't it be worse now than it is? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, didn't the lockdown help?
It would, but also you do there. So this is what I was going to say before. but there is an argument for herd immunity, right? Because if you look at countries like I think Sweden, who hasn't closed a single bit.
Thank you for saying that. Allow me to stop you there. Allow me to stop you there. I need to stop. I need to stop you. I need to stop you there because
Go ahead.
Because you set yourself up to walk into this. Do you know the latest data on Sweden?
No, I really don't. No.
Okay, let me enlighten you because you're about to switch your entire argument. Sweden currently has the highest death rate in the world. They have developed an immunity of only 7%. The Swedish experiment was an epic failure. This was, and I know,
even worse than us.
I know you don't know, and I know you don't know this, and I want to make it clear that you shouldn't know that because this data came out today.
I'm telling you, it's so hard between trying to keep up with all these countries, by the way. It's it's insane to keep up with everything.
So here's my question.
You don't even know where to go to, and I'm a scientist. Like I don't even know where to go to sometimes just
for the information because it's 100%. There's so much misinformation out there. So here's my question. So here's my question. With all this misinformation, obviously there's misinformation. There's misinformation saying, oh, it's nothing, and there's misinformation saying it's the bubonic plague on both extremes. With all this misinformation going around, with the irresponsibility of the human race that won't even wear a fucking mask or maintain kind of things, and when you couple that with the fact that we don't exactly know what we're dealing with yet in terms of entirety of what the disease can do and how to propagate and how to control it, don't you think it's better to be erring on the side of caution in these?
Caution always.
Okay, I rest my case.
100%. It's just like you also worry about, because I truly believe that besides the point of keeping everyone safe and keeping everyone alive, we're not going to come out of this the same that we were before.
No.
So I worry about look, this is the skeptical Lebanese popping out right now. It's like, what policies are you going to implement after this, and what are you using this pandemic as an excuse for?
They already passed. They already passed the law. Yeah, they already passed the law here in America. This is stuff that I think an average human being should be worrying about. An average citizen of the world should be worrying about. You're a Lebanese.
Because you're hearing about Australia. You know, they're forcing their citizens to download an app that doesn't. I think that it only tries them like 20 kilometers from their house. My cousins live it's insane.
True,
and that's infringement on liberties. Like, this is a country that fought for liberties.
True.
Right? But you're doing the exact opposite of what you stand for.
I agree with you 100%. But Australia has a lot of Lebanese people in it, so they have no choice. No, I agree. Here in America, Congress passed a law while we were all focused on this that now allows them to search through your internet history.
It's fishy.
Yeah, they now are allowed to search through your internet history without a warrant.
It's like Patriot Act all over again. This is like going back in time.
But here's the thing. I agree with you. But isn't it a bit absurd to say that because the government is taking advantage of this situation, our reply should be that we should incur a higher risk of death? Isn't that crazy?
Right? That's just like a catch-22.
It is.
Catch-22.
It is a catch-22.
We're not winning any. We're like at a loss. Human beings lose. Like the average citizen who's not the 1% of the 1%, we're the ones who are at a loss.
And here's the thing. Like, if you come out and you say, there are people who come out and say, look, it's fine. I would rather people die than we lose our liberties. I agree.
That's unfair.
I agree that people might have that sentiment until they're on the deathbed. I can guarantee everybody.
Or it hits close to home. Right? Everyone's willing to sacrifice another human being until it hits their front door.
So now that we've had this conversation, and by the way, I would like to point out this was a very nice. I wish people could debate like this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I am all like, my mom told me if I hadn't gone through science, I should have been a lawyer. Like, I'm not kidding. All our fights have led to this point of me debating.
It's beautiful. After our beautiful debate, would you say?
Go ahead.
Would you say conclusion? What are your closing statements on this debate? If I were to ask you, before the prosecution rests, don't you think that, yes, it is being hyped up, which is media because they want to get clicks. Yes. That's obviously, they hype up everything. Jesus Christ. They'll always write a headline like, Trump slams, and then you read it.
Everything is breaking news.
Everything slams.
Everything is breaking news.
Everyone slams, destroys, eviscerates. And with what's happening right now, I don't think that the lockdown in America was honestly unwarranted because Americans are being fucking stupid. That's
truly, and it's funny because America's always on top in everything, and it just so happened that during this pandemic they proved themselves on top of absolute stupidity.
Absolute stupidity. Take a look at Dubai. Take a look at Dubai, Lebanon, Jordan. They're reopening.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought
that Lebanon? Like, I'm not kidding.
Unbelievable.
I have to say, because they did an impeccable job.
Unbelievable.
And unless like this week we heard a couple of cases increased again.
It's natural.
But they shut down everything.
It's natural,
as
but
soon
they
as
shut
it happened,
down.
They shut it down.
Who would have thought?
Like, that was quick.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
So I had
in the middle of a revolution.
In the middle of a revolution,
of, you know,
and the
economic
people helped out.
Listening.
They did it.
Actually listening. Lebanese are listening.
Yeah.
This does not happen. We yell and shout our way through everything, and we actually listen to each other.
Isn't that crazy? In the middle of a revolution,
it gave me so much hope.
People, because the Lebanese people are fucking legends. So
and we're looking out for each other.
In conclusion, Manal, I wish you nothing but safety and your family too on the front lines.
Thank you so much. I also just wanted to, can I give an answer to this
question?
Oh
shit, yeah, we had a question. I'm so sorry. Yes, okay. What was the question?
I really think I've got it. Like, this is the worst thing, like a suppository pill, like a tahmile.
Yeah.
I think those are the worst. They have the worst existing. Are you kidding me?
You mean a suppository? A suppository.
A tahmile, yes. I think that is the worst existence for a single object in the world. Can you imagine being up an ass all day, every day for the rest of your actual station? Horrible. They help a lot, but
you're as a suppository, you're removed from your encasing to be shoved up an ass and then to be flushed down the toilet. It's just it's such a shitty existence. Jesus Christ.
It really is. It's like, but at the same time, you're really wasting away and sacrificing yourself. It's the ultimate sacrifice. It's beautiful, but my lord, it's like just the smell. I can imagine.
Okay, Stacy Sulsumova is asking, what's a suppository? And I'm gonna let you explain.
It's a tahmil. So usually, remember when you were kids and like you or something and you did something shoved up your butt to make it go down, and like kind of like an antibiotic. It looks like a bullet.
Yeah, Stacy, it's basically
your mom would most probably shove it up your butt.
It's anal. It should be medication that is administered anally.
It's like an anal medication plug.
It's an anal butt plug, basically. Well, all butt plugs are anal, but it's medication. If it's not medication, you're being raped and assaulted. So these are the
exactly, and you might want to consider your situation.
Manal, this entire conversation has been a roller coaster ride. I hope you call often.
Nivet, I've been a fan for almost I think since I was over a decade. I am so I used to listen to your podcast on Apple, not this video one.
Oh shit!
I was so glad to see that you picked this up.
Thank you.
As a video format, I'm enjoying this.
Really, when she was giving me compliments, we
really
there
huge fan, dude. I wish you the absolute best. I love listening to your girlfriend the other day. She seems like such a sweetheart. You guys have this beautiful relationship. I'm not kidding.
She's the love of my life.
Family.
Thank you so much.
She seems like the absolute sweetheart, truly, and I wish you the absolute best. This is so great. This is so unexpected and fun.
You're the shit, Manal. Thank you so much. I really love you. Thanks for calling.
You too.
Thanks for all your love, and I hope you always call in on the show. You take care. Bye-bye.
I will. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. All right, people, that's all the time we have for the show today. For those of you who haven't watched this show before, this is the part of the show. This is the most important part of the show. This is where I tell you all goodbye. And Crazy King 55, thanks for the subscription. And before I tell you goodbye, because I have a very important message, this message, we end every show on it. It's for your safety, and it's very, very important for all of you. Before that message, I want to remind you all to add this number on WhatsApp so you get notifications, because the new streams, they are coming. And go to our Discord server and make sure that you guys add the Discord server, because on Discord there's going to be, and right there I just sent in the link, join us on Discord, and you guys will love everything about it. And all the new streams are coming. We got music production streams where I actually make music, and we're going to have guests come on with us who are musicians. It's going to be incredible. And I'm going to be doing video games, which I'm going to make you laugh while I play video games. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're going to do gaming nights. And the gaming nights are going to be me and all of you guys. And we're going to play games together. I'll have people with me in the game that you can hear. And then you guys will be able to vote and you'll win prizes. So we're going to be giving away cash prizes, sponsored prizes in the future. It's going to be a lot of fun. So it's only growing here. The Very Funny Podcast is becoming an empire. And I want you guys all in on it. So make sure you add the number on WhatsApp to get those notifications. And make sure you add the Discord server if you're on Discord to join the community. Now it's time for the very important message that we end every show on. And I can't wait for gaming nights either. When it comes to gaming, I'll be playing mainly on PC. If it's on a console, it'll be PS4. And right now it's time for the most important message of your lives. We end every show on it. It's a very powerful message. It's a message that will last until the end of time. It's a message that echoes and reverberates through the halls and the pantheons of greatness. Some people have wondered whether or not this message is the answer that humanity's been looking for. What is the question, you might ask, that they've been looking for? Well, when you hear the answer, just like in Colin Mochrie's favorite book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, knowing the answer might in and of itself unlock the question. But in this case, the most important question need not be asked, for it burns in your loins. It reaches deep into your soul, and it pulls at your heartstrings. You know the question, even though it cannot have words. All you need is the answer, and the answer to the question is to take care and always wear underwear. Say it with me, it's to take care and always wear underwear. Once again, it's to take care and always wear underwear. And you will be able to survive any problem in life. It's to take care and always wear underwear. Good night, my children. I will see you with more guests, more fun time, and much more greatness. I love you all. Goodbye. Take care. Goodbye. Goodbye. Farewell. Goodbye. Arrivederci. Ma salame.